we're just beginning it. We got
Oprah Winfrey is one of the most powerful people in the media world. She's famous for getting celebrities to open up and share their deepest secrets. But sometimes, her interviews felt less like friendly chats and more like traps, designed to catch stars off guard. One of the most talked about examples was her 1993 interview with Michael Jackson at his Neverland ranch. Instead of celebrating his music and talent, Oprah pressed him hard about his changing looks and his relationships with kids. It turned into a tough, uncomfortable moment that millions of people watched. Michael trusted Oprah. He let her into his home, hoping to explain himself to the world. But the way the interview was edited made him look suspicious and vulnerable. People didn't see a misunderstood artist. They saw a man who couldn't defend himself. Prince, who was a close friend of Michael's, watched all of this happen. He saw how Oprah's team twisted Michael's words and used his honesty against him. After the interview, Michael called Prince, upset and hurt, telling him never to let Oprah get that close again. Prince took that advice seriously, and it changed how he dealt with the media forever. Prince didn't just want to be careful. He wanted to take control. He changed his name to a symbol that no one could pronounce. This wasn't just a weird artist thing, it was a way to say, "You can't own me if you can't even say my name." It was a powerful message about identity and control. Prince was telling the world that he wouldn't be controlled or understood by the media machine. This name change was like a shield, protecting him from being owned or twisted by the press. In 1996, Oprah's team spent months trying to get an interview with Prince. He rarely did TV interviews, and when he did, he made sure everything was exactly how he wanted it. The interview took place at Paisley Park, his huge home and studio in Minneapolis. This place was like a fortress, built to keep the outside world away so Prince could create his music without interruptions. From the moment the cameras started rolling, it was clear this wouldn't be a normal interview. Oprah was used to guests who wanted her approval, but Prince was different. He had spent his whole career pushing back against what Oprah represented, turning private pain into public stories. This was a showdown between two experts: Oprah, who made a career out of getting people to reveal their secrets, and Prince, who built his legend on mystery and control. Oprah came ready to dig into Prince's strange behavior and controversial image, thinking she could break him like she did with others. But Prince had a different plan. He wasn't there to defend himself. He was there to control the story on his own terms. What happened next became a lesson in how to protect your privacy and dignity when the media is trying to dig too deep. Oprah started by calling Prince weird, expecting him to get defensive. But Prince just smiled and said, "Weird is relative." When Oprah joked about Minneapolis being cold, Prince turned it into a clever comeback: "It keeps the bad people out." With that, he flipped the conversation and made it clear he wasn't scared or bothered. He wasn't just avoiding the question, he was taking control with humor and calm. Oprah's usual tricks weren't working because Prince was playing a different game. Next, Oprah brought up some of Prince's more sexual songs, like "Horny Toad" and "Jack You Off," expecting him to either defend or regret them. Prince calmly explained that he had written over 1,000 songs, and a few explicit ones didn't define his whole career. It wasn't a scandal. It was just simple math. He wasn't ashamed of his past because he saw it as part of his artistic journey. Oprah couldn't push him any further. Prince's answers were perfect examples of how to answer tough questions without giving away too much. Then Oprah asked the classic question, "What do you most want people to know about you?" Prince's answer was simple: the music. He didn't care if people thought he was weird or strange. That was their problem, not his. Instead of talking about his personal life, Prince walked over to his piano and started playing. He turned the interview into a performance. Oprah wanted a story, but Prince gave her a show. He didn't show vulnerability. He showed strength through his art. The real turning point came when Oprah asked about Prince's newborn son, who was rumored to have serious health problems. For most celebrities, this would be a moment to open up and connect emotionally. But Prince drew a clear line. He said, "Our family exists," and refused to talk about it. What Oprah didn't know was that Prince's son, Amir, was fighting for his life with a rare genetic condition and would sadly pass away just days later. Prince protected that pain from becoming a story. While Oprah saw tragedy as something to explore and share, Prince saw it as something sacred to keep private. Oprah was used to breaking down walls, but Prince was firm. He wasn't rude or angry, just steady and calm. The more Oprah pushed, the more it became clear that Prince didn't need her platform or approval. He had already fought for his artistic freedom and built a direct connection with his fans. This gave him the power to say no, and mean it. The interview ended without the confessions Oprah was famous for, but with a powerful lesson. Some stories aren't meant for the public, and some artists won't give up their privacy no matter what. That 1996 interview was the last time Prince appeared on Oprah's show. It was a choice to protect himself and his family from a system that had hurt his friend Michael Jackson. Years later, Oprah's role in the Leaving Neverland documentary, which accused Michael of abuse, caused even more controversy. Michael's family spoke out against Oprah, saying she was using their loved one for ratings. Fans also criticized Oprah, accusing her of being unfair and selective in who she held accountable. The Jackson family's response was similar to Prince's. They refused to play Oprah's game and instead exposed the money motives behind the accusations. The similarities between Prince's interview and the Jackson family's fight are clear. Both stood up to Oprah's attempts to control the story. Both protected their personal truths. Both showed that mystery and boundaries can be stronger than confession. The public backlash against Oprah's tactics also showed that people are starting to care more about respecting celebrity privacy and being fair in the media. Looking at the comments on this story, you can see how divided people are. Many admire Prince for protecting his peace and privacy. Others are disappointed in Oprah, calling her manipulative and opportunistic. Some remember her past interviews where she seemed to attack celebrities under the guise of empathy. Still, Oprah has a huge following, showing how complicated the relationship is between media power, celebrity culture, and what audiences want to see. This story reminds us that behind every headline is a real person trying to keep their dignity. In the end, the night Oprah found out not to mess with Prince was more than just one interview. It was a turning point in how artists deal with the media. It showed the power of saying no and standing your ground. Prince's legacy isn't just his music, it's his courage to protect himself from being exploited. For anyone in the spotlight, his story is a lesson. Sometimes mystery is your greatest strength, and silence can be the most powerful answer.